Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode the secrets of the corporate world. And today we're looking at Warner Bros. Discovery and a deal that sounds like it might change the streaming landscape as we know it, or at least some parts of it. Hold on to your popcorn, folks, because this filing from Warner Bros. Discovery, or WBD as they're known, is a big one. It reveals a massive deal where they are essentially selling off a significant part of their business, or at least merging it, with none other than Netflix. Yes, you heard that right. WBD is teaming up with Netflix. This comes out in a report filed on the 5th of December of 2025, but the deal itself, the merger agreement, was actually signed a day earlier on the 4th of December. Imagine the water cooler talk in those offices that day. Now, this isn't just any business shuffle. This is a huge merger agreement. WBD is merging with Netflix, but it is a bit more complex. It involves subsidiaries on both sides. Netflix is bringing in a company called Nightingale Sub Inc., and WBD is contributing Utopco 25 Inc. Think of it as two giants joining forces, but with a few smaller players acting as conduits. This is being reported as a joint press release, which is a big deal for public companies. It means they want everyone to know what is happening, and they are putting out the official word. So, what does this mean for us, the viewers and investors? Well, this report has a couple of key pieces of information. First, the joint press release announcing this whole merger. This is where the companies will lay out the official story, the benefits, and the vision for this new combined entity. Second, there is an internal email to employees. This is often where you get a more candid look at how the company is communicating this kind of massive change to its own people. This part of the filing, the Regulation FD disclosure, is all about making sure information is shared fairly. When a company announces something this big, they can't just tell a few lucky investors. They have to make sure everyone gets the news at the same time. That is why they're furnishing this press release. It is like they are saying, here is the official announcement for everyone to see. Now, shifting gears slightly to item 8.01, which is for other events. This is where they confirm the signing of the merger agreement on the 4th of December. They also provide a really important section called Important Information about the transaction and where to find it. This is critical for investors. They're telling you that this announcement is not an offer to sell anything. Instead, it is a heads up that more official documents are coming. This means that Netflix will be filing a big document, a registration statement on Form S-4, which will include a proxy statement and a prospectus. Think of a prospectus as a detailed brochure telling you everything you need to know if you are going to invest in this deal. WBD will also file a proxy statement. These documents are where you will find the nitty-gritty details about the deal, including financial projections, risks, and how shareholders will vote on it. They are also mentioning a new subsidiary, Discovery Global, which will apparently hold assets not part of the Netflix deal. This hints at a potential spin off or a separate entity for WBD's remaining businesses. They really want to stress that you need to read these upcoming filings carefully. They are essentially saying, this is important stuff, and we'll tell you more later in these official documents. They point out where you can find these documents on the Sexi's website, which is a good reminder that transparency is key in these situations. Then there is a section on participants in the solicitation. This is a standard disclosure in these kinds of deals. It is telling you who the key people are at both WBD and Netflix, their directors and top executives, who might be influencing the decision-making process for this merger. They will detail this information in those upcoming filings. Essentially, they are identifying the people who are in the driver's seat for this major transaction. Now, let's talk about the forward-looking statements. This is a really important part. Companies put these in to protect themselves. They are essentially saying, we're making educated guesses about the future, but things could change, and we might not be right. They list out a lot of potential risks and uncertainties. For example, they state that the deal might not go through as planned, or it might not happen at all. This is a huge uncertainty. Think about all the different approvals needed, from regulatory bodies to shareholder votes. Any one of these could derail the whole thing. There is also the risk of lawsuits popping up, which can be common with big mergers. People might not agree with the terms, or they might think they are being treated unfairly. A big one is the risk that the expected benefits of this merger won't actually materialize. Companies merge hoping for synergies, cost savings, and increased revenue, but sometimes putting two large companies together is much harder than it looks, and those benefits never happen. They are also flagging the uncertainty around the value of Netflix's stock, which is likely to be part of the consideration in this deal. The stock market can be a roller coaster, and if Netflix's stock price drops significantly, it directly impacts the value of this merger. And what about this new company, Discovery Global, that is being set up to hold the parts of WBD not going to Netflix? They are saying it is a brand new company, basically starting from scratch with no credit rating. This means it might have trouble borrowing money, which is essential for any business to grow and operate. On top of that, this new Discovery Global company might take on a lot of debt during this separation. Being heavily in debt can seriously hurt a company's ability to make money and operate smoothly. They're basically painting a picture of a potentially risky future for the new WBD, the part that is not joining Netflix. Finally, we get to the exhibits. These are the actual documents that support the information in the report. We have the joint press release, the internal email to employees, and then some technical XBRL documents for electronic filing. So, what is the big story here? It is a massive strategic shift. WBD is clearly looking to streamline its operations and perhaps offload certain assets. The merger with Netflix, a dominant player in streaming, suggests WBD is perhaps betting on Netflix's ability to leverage content and reach in a way WBD might struggle with on its own. The creation of a separate entity, Discovery Global, is also highly significant. It implies WBD management believes that the remaining parts of their business can thrive independently, or they are being strategically pruned to be more attractive for future deals or restructuring. Now, looking at this from a Warren Buffett style perspective, we see a company making bold moves, likely driven by a desire to simplify its structure and perhaps unlock value. The sheer scale of a merger with Netflix is undeniable. However, the risks outlined in the forward-looking statements are substantial. The creation of Discovery Global feels like a necessary step to create a more focused business, but also an inherently riskier one due to its newness and potential debt load. The biggest weakness here is the inherent complexity and uncertainty. Merging two huge companies is incredibly difficult, and the success of Discovery Global as a standalone entity is far from guaranteed. The opportunity, however, is enormous. If this merger with Netflix is executed well, it could reshape the streaming industry and unlock significant value for shareholders. For Discovery Global, the opportunity lies in carving out its own niche and proving it can stand on its own feet without the WBD umbrella. My conclusion is that this is a high-stakes gamble. WBD is betting big on either the combined power of Netflix and its content, or on the possibility of a more focused, independent future for its remaining assets. But the road ahead is paved with significant risks, particularly for that spun-off entity. Investors need to carefully watch how these complex negotiations and regulatory approvals play out, and more importantly, how the integration actually performs in the years to come. Alright, that is our breakdown of this Warner Bros. Discovery filing. What is your take on this massive deal with Netflix and the creation of Discovery Global? Do you think it is a smart move or a risky gamble? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps. And subscribe for more deep dives into the world of corporate finance. Don't forget to check out our Discord community, linked in the description, for more exclusive content and discussions. Thanks for watching. See you next time.